All right, welcome to another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast. I'm your host, DVO Derek Van Otten, recording from the mobile office, and we are having a guest with us today. I got Scott Keller from NotaryAct joining us. Welcome, Scott. How are you today?
Thanks, Derek. I'm doing great. It's not snowing in
Awesome.
Washington, so I'm okay.
All right, good. Yeah, we had some snow here in Utah not too long ago, and it's cold. It's a little cold out there. So a little bit information on Scott. So he grew up in Portland, Oregon, attended Portland State University, now lives in Battleground, Washington with his wife, Jennifer, and daughter, Julianne. A little bit north of Portland, Oregon. Scott worked in the investment industry for 20 years, became a notary, got his first commission in 2003 for Oregon, started doing loan signings in 2019, right before the big boom of COVID and the lowest interest rates of history. He is dual commissioned in Oregon and Washington, started using the NotaryAct app in 2019. It's an app I also use. We'll talk about that. That's what this whole episode is about. But then Scott started working for NotaryAct as a director of national sales and business development in 2022. I hope I got that all correct for you.
Yes. Actually, 2022, June. So it's been 6 months.
Okay, perfect. And so anyway, thanks for coming on, Scott. Appreciate your time. And tell us a little bit about NotaryAct, the app itself. What is it? People might be wondering. That sounds cool. What is it?
Cool. Well, what I'm going to ask you to do is put the share screen up so they can see what the user interface looks like. We're not going to run the video, but if it's there, people will at least be able to see it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit of history about the company. NotaryAct was formed in 2012 by Lee Ballstock, and he is an attorney in New York, and he just got terribly tired of the traditional way of entering in information in the paper journal, and he figured, you know what, there's got to be something better than this. And so he created NotaryAct. And NotaryAct is one of the longest standing electronic notary journal applications in the industry, by far. 10 years. And we have had thousands and thousands of satisfied customers over the last 10 years. I don't even know how many it is, but it's huge. So the bottom line with NotaryAct, for me, is the fact that it is a way to be, as a notary, more efficient and more organized and more professional. And it is amazing, as you well know, Derek, when you go in for an assignment, whether it's general notary work or a loan signing, what have the responses been of your signers when they see you using the app?
They think it's pretty cool. They always mention how we're in a tech-savvy world.
Right. And so the difference is with our application, and you've seen it too, when you scan the back of that driver's license, man, you don't have to worry about handwriting anything in, and it's there in seconds.
Yes.
And on top of that, it's a way to verify the signer's identity, because the information that's populating into the application, if it matches, you don't have to worry very much about whether the ID is valid or not. This is not an application to verify the ID, but it's a tool that you can use to feel much more comfortable. Because, Derek, every day you go out and you say have 3 signings, do you ever know those people?
Nope, never.
No. And so we are sort of, if you're using the traditional method, and you look at the driver's license, it's really difficult to say, well, yeah, I feel really good about this, because I've been in situations before I used NotaryAct, and I actually had to decline those because I wasn't comfortable with going forward with the service. So that's something that's really important. And also that information helps prepare you for filling out the Patriot Act form. And there's never any question on what the issue date and expiration date is, or the ID number on the driver's license. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, so just to kind of clarify some of this, what people are, just to clarify, so if people have not used the app before, is what you're stating is when you look at someone's ID, the back of their driver's license or their state ID will have a barcode.
Yep.
And so when you scan that barcode in the NotaryAct app, it will populate all the information from that driver's license or ID, and that's why you can tell, because if someone has forged or illegally obtained or created a fake ID essentially, it's hard to also fake the barcode on the back to match everything that would match up. So that's another way to cross-reference that you are with the person that you are supposed to be with.
Exactly. And again, it doesn't make it 100%, but it's pretty darn close.
Sure.
Because if the information isn't correct,
yeah, we still have to do our due diligence, but this is another almost cross-reference.
100%. And so when you ask, Scott, tell me a little bit about NotaryAct, I get really excited about the fact of the ID verification. So let me back up and answer your question more specifically. NotaryAct is an electronic notary journal where on your phone you have the application, you're able to collect information from scanning the back of a driver's license. You're able to collect their digital signature, take a picture of their ID if that's something that you want to do or your state requires that. And then you go onto the Notarial Act category where you can identify the location, time, and type of assignment. And then you can also, in the document category, you're identifying the documents that are notarized, because what is our job? Number one, to verify the signer. Two, set the location and time, chronological. And third, identify the documents that are being notarized. And it's not the fact that your stamp and signature is insignificant, but you got to do all four of those things. NotaryAct provides the first three with no question at all. And on top of that, it not being a traditional notary journal, you don't have to worry about your journal being damaged or destroyed, lost, or stolen. Because all of our...
That was always a fear of mine.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, that was always a fear of mine. I was always scared. What if somebody spills their drink on my journal? What if I drop it into a puddle of water or in the snowbanks where I'm from? I was always worried, what happens if I damage my journal? It's now lost. But with NotaryAct, it's saved in your software program in the cloud.
Right. So the way that it works is when you're doing a draft entry, when you're at a signer's location and you're filling everything out, the information is stored on your phone. But when you're done and you submit the entry, it goes straight to Amazon Web Services, and it's encrypted, AES 128, and it is actually more secure, I'm told, than online banking. That way you have access to your journal at any time, even after your commission expires or your subscription expires. We still allow unlimited access at this time at no charge for our customers. And your log will always be there. You can run reports, detail, and also summaries. I don't know if you've used that yet, Derek, but that's something that I want to teach you when we're done. I want to teach you how to run reports.
Sure, I'd love to.
But the bottom line is there's a lot of things that are available. And let me tell you this. Derek, how much do you pay a year for this? Do you remember? Is it like
gosh,
$29.99, isn't it?
Yeah, it was $30. Yeah, and some change. Yeah, when I just renewed it. So yeah.
So that means that you're paying less than 10 cents a day for NotaryAct, the best 10 cents that you've ever paid, because you've been on for as long as you have. Prices have increased, but our top level right now is $90 a year, and that means that you're spending about 35 cents a day to get all of this functionality.
Yeah, and that's for unlimited entries.
Derek, I'm not able to hear you.
Are you there?
I am
Okay.
now. You were off the screen for a while,
Okay, perfect.
and
Oh,
your
sorry. Yeah,
picture
I was
did
just saying,
not
in
come
that in
in on
that
my
that
phone.
price, that's the that's okay. I think we'll save in the recording. But
Yep.
yeah, that top tier you mentioned, that also includes unlimited entry. So if you do 10 entries a day, or 50 entries a day, I do the unlimited one.
Right. And when you signed up, the top level was $29.99, and now the
Uh
rate is
huh.
a little bit more. But the reality is, the amount of money that you spend on this is insignificant to the benefit that you're getting out of the application.
Right.
So let's run the sample entry so people can see what it looks like, Derek.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna play this. It's a so if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna see my screen. It's a little video showing about Notary Act and just kind of a sample. But you also hear it. There's voiceover, so even if you're just listening on podcast, don't worry, you will be able to hear kind of it, and you can download this Notary Act app, and you can do a free trial, so you can kind of follow along as well. So don't worry about that. All right, so let me play this video.
React. Today I want to walk you through a sample entry, and we're going to get started by selecting the new entry button, green button right in the middle. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to scan where it says scan ID to pre-fill. I'm using a sample driver's license and barcode. So first thing we do, boom, there's the information. First name, last name, address, ID type, and I've added ID number, issue date, expiration date, and date of birth. I'm going to take a picture of the ID. So now we have that. Signature is the next thing that happens. And we're going to select that, and then we're just going to sign however you sign your name. Okay? Next step is to move from right to left, and we're swiped from right to left, and we're in the Notarial Act category. Date and time is already set. Location, I'm going to select that, and we're going to save that. The location is detected. Type of assignment, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select refinance. And payment method, I'm getting this through ServiceLink, signing company. I've got a tracking number I'm putting in here as well. My fee. And the number of stamps I'm going to use in this assignment are 12. Then I'm going to swipe from right to left again, and we go to the document area. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to select a type. We're going to select the date. This is happening. Great. Go back to the document here. Okay. Document number 1. So then we're going to go to the type of document, and we're going to say that the type of document is a deed of trust. We have signers. We only have one signer, and again, this is a sample entry, but that's okay. First name, last name, and then the type of notarization. I'm going to go ahead and select acknowledgement. No comment needed, and that's the only document that we're doing in this entry. You can add as many as you want to. Let's add another one. Date. Good. Select type. I'm going to say compliance agreement. Get that done. Signers. Signer. Yeah. And then type of notarization. Acknowledgement. Now we're going to go on to the comment section. You can type in whatever comment you want to. I'm going to preview. And I've previewed everything here. Everything's good. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to submit this. Right now, that's what it's doing, submitting. And now your entry is on your own portal in the Amazon Web Services, and it can be accessed at any time. Okay, so Derek, just leave that screen up. So one of the things that I wanted to mention is that we're coming up with new functionality going to come up and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But what you're seeing with the application is if you're doing general notary work, Derek, and you're going to somebody's house and you're only notarizing 2 documents, notice how quick that is.
Uh-huh.
If you were doing that in a traditional
Oh, yeah.
journal, it'd take maybe, 10 minutes to do? And my handwriting
Sure.
isn't good. My eyesight is not as good as it used to be. But man, the time and efficiency is just amazing to me. If you're doing a loan signing, talk to me a little bit about that, Derek. When was the last time you did a loan signing? Yesterday, right?
Yes, exactly.
So use NotaryAct. How long did it take you?
For the journal entry, not even a minute.
Okay. Now, do you have to in Utah? Do you have to detail specifically the documents that you're doing, or are you just doing overall?
Not here, no.
Okay. So so if you were doing a traditional journal, it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So big deal about the amount of time. Now, what I want to say is that the amount of time I calculated in 2021, the amount of time that I saved using NotaryAct was 250 hours. That's how many weeks?
Oh, wow.
How many weeks of work, Derek, is that? Full
I don't know.
time?
It's a lot.
Okay, it's a lot. And
Yeah.
when you look at that in dollars, that's big. That's a big deal. So just to keep in mind, when times are moving and, at the height, Derek, you were doing what, 6 to 8 signings a day?
A day, yeah.
Yeah. And I was maybe at 8 or 10, but, that means that I was working 12 hours a day. Those people wanted me to show up at their house at 10 o'clock at night. They wanted to get it done.
Sure.
And hey, I didn't have a problem with that. But the bottom line is
Right.
that the amount of time that we save, we can either spend with our families or we can do more work.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly.
So the thing that I really wanted to bring up, and I wanted to make sure that it's very clear to everybody, that myself as a notary, IDing the signers, verifying their ID is very important. Scanning the barcode, as you saw, awesome. Recording the assignment location, very, very quick. Recording the notarial acts, and then you're doing your stamps and your signatures. It takes care of 3 of the 4 major things.
Yeah, so people that weren't able to maybe watch the video, and again, you can download the app, do a free trial, and test it out. But some of the features in that video was showing how in the location, it uses GPS to coordinate, to pinpoint where you're located. So it's recorded. The
Right.
date is already there. When you scan the barcode on the back of the ID, boom, their name, their address, their date of birth, everything's like already populated in seconds. And so much
Oh, yeah.
information is just already stored in seconds, automatically done through the app. It's a huge time saver, which is why I use it.
Right, and I think that the other major thing is that it makes you look more efficient and more organized, and that equals a more professional way of doing business, because more than likely those folks are going to call you back later on saying, hey, Derek or Scott, I need to do some additional work for me, and I really appreciated your level of professionalism when you came in. So this tool allows that. So
Yes.
we've talked about the application in general. We've talked specifically about how it works. But I think that what I'd like to do, Derek, talk to me a little bit about what you would love to see in NotaryAct in the future.
Oh, how about fingerprints?
Okay. Guess what? You can already do that, Derek. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't even know. I did not know that.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to go into settings under the signer category, and you're going to add that field where you can take a picture of the piece of paper that you're taking a fingerprint on. Now, this doesn't mean that it's California compliant,
Oh,
but it allows you
okay.
to take a picture of the fingerprint.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
So if you
okay.
have a pad, an ink pad, and a piece of paper, and you're taking the right thumbprint,
Uh-huh.
then you can take a picture of it, and it's part of your journal.
Oh, wow. That's pretty neat. Okay. And there's so much that I haven't even discovered yet. You sent me some links of videos I've been watching, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's so much more I can do. There's so much details with this app that I haven't even discovered yet that I'm now learning. And it's so great. How in depth like I can't think of a lot of things that I do want to add to it because it does so much already what I need.
Okay, so let me tell you. You can track your jobs in NotaryAct by signing company, by order number, and that's something that's really important. In the admin fee, there's going to be some new features coming up, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. The biggest thing for me as a
Wow.
notary is going out and doing the same kind of document types every assignment. Because when you go for,
Uh-huh.
say you're going to somebody's house to do a will, okay? You know you're going to get a will,
Okay.
you know you're going to get a durable power of attorney, and you know that you're also going to get a health care directive, right? Potentially. So there's
Yep.
those three documents that happen all the time. If you're going for a refinance, standard refinance, you're probably looking at 10 documents. If you're looking at a refinance
Uh-huh.
for two people, you're looking at probably 12 because you got two signature name affidavits, right? So,
Right. Yep.
what if you had a way to build a list of those document types? Because right now in NotaryAct, you're identifying one document at a time. But what would happen, Derek,
Yes.
if you walked into somebody's house, you had everything set up even before you went in, but you had also dropped in a refinance list of documents. So
Almost
what's
like a
going to
template
happen?
almost.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now is with our new version that's going to be coming out at the end of this month, is you're going to be able to select a list of document types and drop that straight into your draft entry, so you're not having to do one document at a time.
Ah,
Okay. There's some other things that we're
another time
looking at
saver.
right now. If you do a draft entry on your desktop, it doesn't automatically show up on your phone. But with our new version, it will actually do that. So if you put a draft entry in on your phone, it's going to show up on your desktop or tablet. So it's going to cover all of the different platforms that you're using. So that's what's coming. So
Oh,
you've got
very.
document type, but also identifying who signs what document. So let's do this, Derek. Would you mind running the new functionality video quickly that I sent you?
Yeah.
You have that?
Yes. Give me a moment.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pull it up real quick and. Let's make sure I got the right one. Give me. I'm sorry, everybody. I'll make sure I'm doing the
So
right
what I sent you this
one.
morning.
I am. Yeah, when I opened it up, I'm like, oh, I got two of them. Which one is the correct one? I'm gonna make sure I got the right one. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go.
Full entry, you can see how our system works. Coming up currently, we're going to be able to have users create more than one draft. And you can see here, I've created a total of 16. So we're going to go to the new entry form, and we're going to scan. like I remember the date of birth. You can picture this. Okay. Add a signature.
Yeah, it sounds good on my end. So, yeah. Okay. Let me go back to it then. All right.
Independently. Okay. And then we're going to go down and we're going to add a second signer. Same thing, information comes in seconds. I'm going to change this to show John. Okay. And we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to go to the Notarial Act. And the Notarial Act, we're able to enter our link via GPS. We're specifying the location. And we're going to that this is a refinance. And payment method is coming from Mortgage One. Tracking number or order number. So we verify that as well. The fee. Then we're going to go to documents. Currently, right now, you can add one document at a time, but our new functionality is where you're adding a packet of document types. Look at this. It all comes in fabulous and well. And notice that it's also showing both sides. So let's take a look at the signature affidavit. And we're going to identify which individual is going to be signing, and that would be Jane. You can do that for all your documents. Pretty cool. We're excited. Okay, and then we go to the comment section, and you can add a comment at the end of your entry. But we're going to preview. You can also add comments after you submit. Again, we've got all the signer information here, picture, signature. That's a good example. Notarial Act, we're specifying where it's happening. Okay, and then we're going to go here to the documents. And again, it's identifying the item that was notarized, who signed, and the type of notarization. Okay, and then you're going to go all the way down to the bottom. And you're going to submit. You're going to save your entry.
All right, that's pretty cool. I like the fact. So if you didn't catch it, because if you're just listening, or if you're just seeing this for the first time, you can be. Let's just say today's Monday. It's Monday night. I printed documents. I have, let's just say, 3 signings on Tuesday. I printed the documents. And I can already create draft entries into my notary journal by saying, okay, I'm doing a refinance. We've got the occupancy, we have the signature affidavit, we have the deed of trust. These all have to be notarized. I can input it already before I get there. Now I get to the signing. I go to my drafts, pick the client. Now I just scan their IDs and they sign it. And we're done. in 30 seconds. We're now done with our journal entry at the kitchen table. That's amazing.
So one of the other things that I wanted to let you know too, Derek, is something that's coming up. We're doing programming for an application like this. It takes quite a bit of time to do it properly. So the other things that we're looking at right now is adding an image within the Notarial Act category or an image in the comments section where if you're doing a RON or an IPEN signing, you're able to print off an audit log.
Oh, wow.
And then you can take a picture of that audit log and add that into NotaryAct, because it's important that people have a chronological journal and that they have control over their journal. Because if you're using a RON platform or an IPEN platform, like say with AMROC, you're going to have a journal with AMROC, but you're also going to have NotaryAct. So why not keep all of that under your control?
Right.
And that's really important. the other thing that we're going to be adding, if you're setting up, say, you've got 8 assignments this week, and you're setting these draft entries up, there's also going to be some fields where you can select the date and time of the assignment. So when you have your 10 drafts out there, there's going to be an easy way for you to see which ones are happening and when. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can pick which one and go and do it. Can you also delete it? So let's just say you have an appointment, you get everything ready, and then it gets canceled. Can you then delete the draft?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great.
Yes, you can. And if the appointment time changes, you can change the time of the appointment as well.
Oh, wow.
So the idea is that, and also, Derek, if your customer wants a copy of their detail, the different activities. I've never had anybody ask me for that.
Yeah, me neither.
But you could run a report with that person's name, and then you could send them an email with the PDF.
Oh, okay. Great. One thing I like to do sometimes.
Not built within NotaryAct.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's something that's not built into NotaryAct, but when you run a report, if anybody ever asks you for that, or a court of law asks you for that, you can send it to them. And that will work in almost every state.
Yeah, that's what's really nice too. I like the fact, because when I talk about this with other signing agents and other notaries, that's one thing they're worried about. They say, well, where is it stored, and how do I get access to it? And I tell them, you just log into your account and run a report, and boom, there you've got it. You've got it now. And so you don't need to carry journals around and worry about it getting damaged, the journals. And I didn't know it was encrypted on Amazon. Amazon is, if you don't know, is one of the largest databases of where websites store information, and it's secure. Obviously, not every place is 100%, but pretty close to it. So I feel comfortable with it. And I mean, there's so many benefits that I get out of using NotaryAct. The most benefit for me is the time. So it's just a quicker time for me to get through the signing faster. And then I have it logged. So I like that peace of mind that it's logged into the database. So if I, like you said, I have to appear before a court or judge to just kind of keep myself secure and safe, I've got my journal. And so it's just some of the reasons why I love using the app.
Right. And the other thing to think about too, Derek, is that you carry your phone with you all the time, don't you?
All the time.
And so that's just something that you've always got with you when you go out for appointments. Obviously, you're carrying your stamp and your pen and your documents, but here's the other thing that I want to say, and I don't think that this has really been made a good specific point about NotaryAct, or any electronic journal for that matter. If you were to lose your traditional journal, what's happening? You got people's addresses.
Yeah. It's gone.
Got all that stuff, and that becomes a public document.
Yes.
With NotaryAct, you're securing the information in an encrypted portal where hardly anybody could ever get any access to it other than you. So that's another big difference between having an electronic notary journal that's been around as long as NotaryAct has. Your journal is now 100% secure.
Exactly.
There's a lot of states that say, okay, you got to have it locked in a safe. Well, I can't get into my phone without showing my face to it, right, Derek?
Yes, exactly.
Or your ID code.
Yep.
And also, when you're using the Apple phone, you can use the facial ID to get into NotaryAct. So
That's how I have it set up.
think about that as how are you securing the information that you're collecting about your signers? I want it to be secure.
Exactly.
And that's one of the other reasons why I use NotaryAct.
How many states are allowed to have e-journals, electronic journals?
Right now, there's 40, I believe it's 45, 46 states.
Wow. So almost every state now, you can have electronic journal.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's incredible. I mean, I didn't know if this was a thing or not. I just was thinking, I had to order a new journal, and I'm thinking, I don't like writing everything down when I get there. I don't like how much time it took. And like I mentioned earlier, I was always afraid, what if somebody spilled their glass of water on it? What if I dropped it into a puddle while I was walking to the vehicle? I was always scared what would happen to it. And I looked up,
Sure.
I was like, is this even an option? I found out, yes, a lot of states do allow you to have an e-journal, electronic notary journal. I looked it up, saw a lot of great reviews on NotaryAct, did a free, I think it was a 7-day trial, did it, and I said, wow. Day one, a couple signings, I already knew I was purchasing it because it was saving me so much time. I was like, I've got to get this. This is crucial at this point for me to get this, and that's why I'm bringing it on this episode for you guys, because I want to help you guys become peak signing agents and save time. Because not only is it your time, but it's also the signer's time. They're sitting there, they're just watching you input their information off of their driver's license or whatever, and it's everyone's time that's being consumed. And if you can make that experience faster, do it.
Right, and the other thing to think about, Derek, when you go out to do one signing, even today at the rate that you're getting paid for our unlimited at $89.99, that's one signing. And that covers you for the rest of the year for an unlimited number of entries.
Exactly. So, yeah, if you guys didn't catch on, I'll put the link in here so you can go to the website and check it out. And there's apps. You can download the app. It's an app for tablets. I know I use Apple products, so I know it's on my iPhone. I can have it on my iPad and use an Apple Pencil they can sign with, or just a stylus or finger they can sign with, or it's on the desktop as well. You can pre-put data entries. You can run reports all from the desktop. So I'll put the link in here so people can do that. But you can see there's different tiers to purchase. I do the unlimited. I mean, I do enough signings that it's definitely worth it. I mean, it's like you said, it's cents. It's literally cents per entry for me at this point. It's a great deal, great value.
Yeah, it is. So, Derek, thank you very much for your time today and allowing me to profile NotaryAct. And you have my information.
Yeah.
If you want to put that out on here as well, that's fine. And I'm able to answer questions. I'm on Pacific Coast time, so if you're on East Coast, just remember that. But send me an email if you need to. And I will answer your questions as soon as I can.
Yeah, let me know that you saw Scott on the Peak Signing Agents podcast. And we're going to get together again soon. We're going to talk more. We're going to maybe have some people come on, talk about their experiences with NotaryAct. We're going to dive in. I want people to explore this, do the free trial. It's not like... it's a free trial. Let me know what you guys think about it. Maybe we'll do another thing where we can talk about, so we can share experiences with our whole notary signing agent community, our tribe, so we can all help each other out and make it more efficient and proficient for everyone involved. So thanks, Scott, for your time, and thanks for everyone that's listening and watching the podcast episode.
Cool. Hey, and everybody have a successful 2023.
Excellent. Take care. Bye now.